Period of rain will continue for 59 minutes. Nice. Bit of rain would be good. Is there a difference between candle and torch? Torch melts ice permanently. Candle melts ice sometimes. Temporarily, I guess would be the better word. So, last time in our lovely base, we have been working on this setup, which doesn't look all that inspiring. I'll grant you that. But it's got good bones. And specifically what I want to expand on here, your spoilage and seeds. I'd rather put you here, I think. So I need one more power line. What I want to expand on here is I want to set up failsafes, and we also need to actually get farming done. So you'll go here. Give me one more. You'll go here. Don't connect. Very ugly. You are going to craft nutrients from spoilage. You are going to have an inserter that picks up nutrients, which are going to be on the inside of this belt. Or it picks up spoilage, which is going to be on the outside of this belt. And it outputs nutrients, which are going to be on the inside of this belt. And then if any nutrients in this machine spoil, we are going to put them onto this belt, which is going to keep them on the outside where they belong. You are filtered for spoilage only. You are filtered for nutrients only. And then you only turn on when this belt has 0 spoilage. Or 0 nutrients. Because you are our failsafe. Maybe when you have less than... Because I want to make sure enough of it gets around to this biochamber. Because if this biochamber runs out of nutrients, everything is wrong. So you will be good like this. You gotta get agricultural towers down. And you did make some. So let's actually start the process of growing our own plants. We have a very small patch of soil there that we can use. We have a somewhat larger patch of soil here that we can use. Although I may try and get 2 agricultural towers in here. You go there. Give me 2 landfill. Pick up one of these trees. Put your Yumako in near side. You're gonna need more landfill, so grab a couple. Oh, you forgot you haven't been fueling these. There, that'll keep you going for a while. And then you need appropriate soil for jelly nut. Which it doesn't look like you have a ton of, my friend. You really don't. We're looking for these light purple areas. And there's just not many of them. So we are going to have to grow a lot of artificial soil to get this tower working. Also, there's a ton of landfill we're going to have to put out here as well. Oh, this is not a great place for a tower. But I don't really think I have any better options. Maybe up here, but that's a long way to ship stuff in. You know, just set up the landfill. set up the landfill, and you'll find a way to make it work. Alright. Grab your seeds that you have in storage so far. And then you can start to get prepped for actually running. So we only have 2 Yumako seeds so far. That's not great. I think you got to get this thing turned on sooner rather than later. You are going to get jelly nut seeds. Run your power. I do not particularly care that this is going to cost me landfill. I can make more. Okay, so you can connect in here. That is going to start the process. No, it's not going to start the process of planting for you because we didn't actually connect your power. You require more stone for that. In fact, you need 200 more stone for that. Alright. While we wait for that landfill to catch up, I think I need to go deal with this nest over here. Because you are awfully close to where I would like to start building this. So let's get you out of the way. Grab your spoils. There's 9 pentapod eggs that you will be able to turn into biochambers. In your dedicated biochamber maker here. That must be nutrient that's spoiled. So let's get the bioflux assembler on. You are going to need extra nutrients for that. There you go. No, you're going to need jelly nut. You're short on jelly nut right now. And you need to work fast because you've got pentapod eggs just sitting in that biochamber right now. You don't want them to hatch and waste all of your hard work. $250 should keep me going for a little while. And then we've really got to get plastic going. You guys get in there. Should give me a stack of 50 of them. Right, you're going to need nutrients as well. Right, off you go. You are out of Yumako mash as well. You are not ready to turn this thing on all the way. And hopefully it doesn't cost you too dearly. You just have to get your farming towers automated. As soon as your farming towers are automated, everything is going to make a lot more sense here. Right, then focus on that. That's all the landfill you'll need. Off you go. Then we need to run a belt back from you. Which is also going to take a ton of landfill. Like a ton of landfill. We need underground. So much landfill. Hey Azure, how's it going? We're at least making bioflux. You are at least making more rocket fuel. That's a big one. We also need to be thinking about where we're going to get plastic from. It's only bioflux and Yumako mesh. That's actually fairly easy. And then that is going to get us robots. Should maybe work on that now. How was Reset? It was good. We fought RBP, we fought EBG, we fought Boys, we fought Jinx, we fought another blue group that I can't immediately remember the name of. And then we floated, and we fought Bane, and then we tagged down. But it was good. I had a nice time. We also had a bug with our no down state, where we didn't get it upon entering the map. So we fought on Green BL for 2 hours. It's just like a normal squad that did not have no down state. And then when we finally floated maps, we had it. So that was interesting. Seems like it was not working on load for whatever reason. I need to grab nutrients, please. Thank you. Maybe about that many. Maybe a little more. You're already out of fruits. That's fine. Let it expire. The base isn't ready to turn itself on. You mostly just want to get these biochambers done so that you don't have to worry about these pentapod eggs spoiling in situ. How much rocket fuel did you get out of that endeavor anyway? Another 45? That's pretty good. You're at 10. We're going to consume that very slowly. You're out of resources. I can back you up by 2. It's going to take us a while to get through all of this landfill. Or pentapod eggs to use up still. But this should be enough biochambers for the foreseeable future. How did your reset go though, Azure? Who did you guys end up fighting? I need stromatolites. CTH Bliss, Ska, IOM. That sounds like that alliance, yeah. Grab these iron stromatolites. Should be enough for this next little push. Should be exactly enough landfill. Keep these moving. We should only have 2 more of these to make. There we go. That will use up the last of our pentapod eggs. Beautiful. So how's plastic going to work? All that plastic takes is Yumako mesh. What is the ratio? Bioflux and Yumako mesh, but that's easy enough. 4 Yumako mesh makes 4.5 plastic. 1 Yumako processing makes 6. So I could do a 3 to 2. That would look like this. And this would probably be the only plastic production we need. Because this would make like 13.5 plastic per second or something like that. It's going to make almost a full yellow belt of plastic by itself. Shift this up so that you can design it better. And then turn your RoboPort off. 1, 2, 3. How much space do I have down here? You have Bioflux run down the middle with a 3 wide gap. 1, 2, 3. So you're going to go like that. You are going to pull like this. This is going to be Bioflux belt. You're going to have 3 more long-handed inserters pulling like this. Put your extra iron back in there, you're going to need it. So that's your Bioflux done. You're going to have 1 inserter that comes out like this. These should all be ghosted, by the way. You're right. Ghost. 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 Filters. This is only going to pull off spoilage. Bioflux doesn't make seeds. This doesn't need to filter. This doesn't need to filter. They can grab anything they want. Make a couple power poles. You can put the ghost power poles down. You should only need them here and here, and then here, 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 and here to cover everything as far as I know. Then, inner belt is going to be your nutrient loop, which is going to go like this. Inner is spoilage. No, inner is nutrients, outer is spoilage. So you have this go under, feed back in like that. Then you're going to need Yumako to come in on the top. Right about here. You can grab that with 2 long-handed inserters. These will be in charge of grabbing nutrients. And then you also need a way to remove spoilage. So these power poles are not going to work there. You can have one here, and you can connect it in a diamond. Here and here. These only remove Yumako seed and spoilage. And then these I don't have to filter because the only valid targets for these biochambers is going to be Yumako mesh. You make plastic. Okay. And then at the bottom, you are going to be nutrient, nutrient, nutrient. You don't need to filter this. The only thing that it could ever grab off that belt that's a valid target is nutrient. You're going to have take out, take out. No. You want this belt to... How did you do it over here? Oh, you put power poles on the far side. I can do that here. Okay. Take out, take out, take out. This is spoilage only. Take out, take out, take out. This is plastic only. And then put in, put in, put in. Run your power line down. That is your plastic producer. Figure out where this biochamber is going to go. Because historically, it's been a little hard to plan out. You want it to be nice and adjacent. Like, let's say here. No, actually, you want to copy this whole thing because the bioflux goes down the middle. So I think you actually want to take all of this and put it in like this. But then how come the power pole doesn't line up? Oh, it doesn't on the other side either. Okay. Yeah, so you're supposed to go here. And then you have a splitter at the top. It filters nutrients to right side. And that just enforces that nutrients are really only supposed to be on the right side of the belt. That's bioflux. Your circuit condition is fine. Your nutrients are fine. And then you can take this whole thing, cut it, paste it so that it starts here, which is where the main bus is. Oh, you still have to take plastic out. You haven't actually belted your plastic yet. But it definitely goes here. And then these power poles are also wrong. That's not going to work for your plastic. You need to go... How much do you put out? 4.5 times 3? 13.5. I think we need every single one of these to pass through a splitter, which is crazy. But that's just how much it makes. So you're going to insert into a splitter, insert into a splitter, insert into a splitter. And you're going to do one of these. And it's going to balance after every splitter. But that's just how much plastic is going to come out of here. Which means that your power lines are definitely not going to work. And you are going to need to use 2 undergrounds. You're going to need underground here and an underground here. And then you can go power line here and here. You don't connect there. Filthy. You come up 1. Don't connect there. Filthy. That should be plastic. So let's put you here. Fix this wiring. Pull this wiring up to here so it's still square. And then continue these belts. That's a splitter though. So this goes underground here, this goes underground here. You're a splitter. Right, and then I need you taking things out as well. So you go like that. You turn like that. You go into a splitter here. You come down this way. You go here. Copy you. Paste you. Copy your filters. There we go. Now it's ready to turn on. Build it. You're going to need an extra 82 belt. I can do 30. You have tons of landfill now. So you might be able to work on this belt that's going to automate at least half of our fruit production. Still going to need 30 belt about. 10, 20, 30. And you're going to need a fast inserter to put all this plastic away. A normal inserter will not be able to keep up. Give me a steel chest for it. $18 undergrounds. Okay. You're gonna need more iron. The next thing we have to do after this is iron and copper manufacture. Otherwise, we are going to find ourselves running out of these stromatolites relatively soon in easy-to-reach places. It's just going to become more difficult to get our hands on them. So off you go. Don't put your extra landfill down over here. Making progress on that. I will give you 5 undergrounds. How are you doing on steel? You only have 15 left? You might want to think about making some more. You're going to need 5 of these. You're going to need 3 long-handed inserters. You have none iron getting made right now. Fix that. And then come back and get it later. One, two, three. You're going to need 9 yellows, I think you said? Yeah. Yellow's done. Start putting those down. And then just 8 undergrounds and 2 splitters. No, 3 splitters, because they place 2 at a time. 2 undergrounds, 2 splitters. You're actually way closer than you thought. Yeah. So just 1 more. And then 2 splitters. Which is 16 total up. While you wait for that, keep up on your landfill. Second splitter. Alright, plastic is ready. Eat a bunch of this Yumako. Select a recipe, maybe. Get some nutrients started. Grab a little bioflux. And then you need some extra nutrients for these. Off you go. Oh, right. And you want a box to put all these in, I assume? You are out of Yumako mash. That's because you're out of Yumako fruit. As long as I can get to 90... Oh, God, how are you going to make flying robot frames? So you need lubricant for that. Oh, you didn't think this all the way through. You have to put robots in the roboports, man. You're not done just because you get to yellow circuits. You've actually got a long ways to go after that still. You're right. That sucks. It shouldn't be that bad. How do we make lubricant? It's 60 jelly. 60 jelly? Are you insane? That's so much jelly. We're only ever going to need 1 of those things. Let's get this up. These trees have grown, which is nice. We have jelly nut in there, which is nice. I would like them to output onto a splitter, actually. So that I can use both sides of the belt. You're out of fuel. Fixable. So a little something like this. Yes, this is going to waste some landfill. It's fine. Stone is free. We won't run out. In fact, now that we have rocket fuel, I could probably put down a few more of these. Okay. You forgetting anything else that's like a catch-22 for your logistics bots? Flying robot frame? Is that going to take batteries too? Yes. How do you make batteries? Iron, copper, sulfuric acid. How do you make sulfuric acid? Iron, sulfur. How do you make sulfur? Spoilage bioflux. Okay. I mean, the bright side is that we don't need a ton of logistics bots. I don't think we're going to need more than, like, 15. Because the only thing that's going to be handled by the logistics bots is seed delivery. Everything else is going to get belted. So those bots are not going to be too busy. But there is still more infrastructure than I thought to get them ready. That's fine. We'll just keep building out our stuff. We have a good system in place. It's intuitive, it makes sense, and most importantly, it's expandable. So that is our fruit output. For jelly nut. Here. Keep working on some steel. Keep working on some landfill. And then maybe plan your next bioassembler here. Which I guess is going to be lube, but lube is going to be the easiest factory ever. You're going to want one biochamber. It's going to make lubricant. It needs 40 jelly per second. You make 12. So I would want 4 to go into 1. Are you going to need 20 lubricant per second, though? Hypothetically, how many engine 2s would that make? Just purely hypothetically speaking. One engine 2 uses 1.1 per second. So 20 divided by 1.12. You'd be looking at 18 electric engine manufacturers. I think that's way higher than you need it to be. I think you want to do half that. So if you were going to do half that, you would go 2 to 1. And you don't need bioflux. So we can do a really easy direct insertion here. We don't need this middle belt carrying bioflux running down the middle. We can just have this. And then I can even rotate you so that you spit out directly into a tank. Nutrient belt, jelly nut seeds. Like, I think it's just this. I think that's all there is to it. You're gonna need more iron. Tell me if you've heard this one before. I'm saving this patch of stromatolites for, I don't know, later. When we really need it. I don't think we're in dire straits yet. But we are burning through a lot of iron. Probably also going to want a little copper as well. Should be a couple good patches of it down here. There you go. Ten more landfill. Start thinking about finishing this up down here relatively soon. And then also plug, because you do still need to supply this with nutrients. Plug in your nutrient builder. Little something like that. Give me undergrounds for planning purposes. You're going to look like that. You're going to have an inserter here. Wired up to this belt. You're going to be hold all belts. And then your circuit condition, we're just going to copy up to here. You're going to make nutrients from bioflux. I don't think there's any way for nutrients to ever get on the inner loop of this. Need 10 yellows, so I can put the yellows together. So lubricant and then sulfur, and then we can think about robots. Right, turn your port back on. Still need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 landfill at worst. We'll get there. I keep you fueled. Off you go. Right, I wasn't ready for you to build that yet, but it's fine. This is going to be spoilage out. This is going to be nutrient in. This is going to be nutrient in. This is going to be spoilage out. This is going to be jelly nut in. This is going to be jelly nut spoilage extraction. Just going to loop back on like that. You are going to be filtered for only spoilage. You need steel plate to make a tank. You need power lines. You're going to come over here. You're going to come over here. You're going to go like this. You're going to go here. Here. Here and here to hit everything. And then also here and ooh, you're gonna miss both of those inserters that way. Here and here. And then disconnect you. Okay, plug in lubricant. You're gonna go right there. Turn drones on. We need 4 undergrounds, which is really only 2. 4 medium electric poles, 2 blue inserters, 1 pipe. And then a lot of belt. They should be finishing up any time now. They also need to finish running the rest of that belt. Oh, you have a splitter. That's what you're missing. Make me a splitter. So give me this jelly. As long as you're growing it. Let's get the lubricant started. Have all of those, have all of those. You have some nutrients. Oh, I didn't filter you. You filter nutrient only. And then you should be nutrient only, but I'm gonna let you grab everything off the belt first. Good. Or rather, you should be spoilage. Actually, you need to be spoilage and seeds. And then you need to be spoilage on. No, wait, it shouldn't matter. You don't produce anything that's non-fluid. Yeah, you don't need to be filtered. Alright, that has given you some amount of lubricant to work with. Not a ton, but enough to get you going on making your first couple flying robot frames. Or, electric engines. The flying robot frames we're going to be waiting for sulfuric acid on. But the flying robot frames we can get started on now. We're also going to need an assembler for engines. Run a temporary power line here, because I don't care about it. Hook up a pipe here. You come up here. Inserter here. You're going to need one more assembler for gears. And pipe. You know what? Never mind. I'll handcraft that. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Make extra steel. We're going to make 50 engines. That will make 50 electric engines. We will make 50 flying robot frames. We'll have 50 logistics drones, and that should be way more than enough to take care of what we need them to do. Way, way more than enough. You're also going to need more iron. You ran out already. Thank God for this exoskeleton. This would be painful if we were trying to run this by hand. And then what else we're thinking a little far ahead, but what are you missing for a rocket silo? Pipe you can do, sort of. Processing unit you'll be able to do when your sulfuric acid is online. Electric engine unit you'll be able to do. Steel plate you can do. You're going to need to figure out concrete as well, but concrete doesn't actually take any spoilage kind of mechanics. We just make it with stone. So we're close to everything that we need for our rocket. But we would be making a glacially slow rocket at this pace, and we're going to want to think about scaling it a bit. Oh, that's a cliff. Hack down this forest. Load some more iron. Are you doing on steel yet? Are you up to 50? No, but I'll start with 33. You're also going to need 100 green circuits. You can only do 47 for now. You'll have to wait for iron. That's fine. Really? Oh, because it's underwater. There you go. Alright, so that's now Jelly Nuts automated. We're not quite ready to turn them on yet, but we could if we wanted to. And then we'll want to go automate Yumako. You're still going to need a ton of iron for this. Copper's holding in there, though. Out of fuel. There you go. $71 plastic. Yeah, you're going to want to make more of that. What's the next thing you need up here? Sulfur? Yeah. Start thinking about how you're going to make sulfur. Spoilage bioflux. How much? Because you could just repurpose all the random spoilage you're getting down here. Maybe the spoilage belt should also go up. Because we are generating a ton of spoilage that we're not really going to be using. I guess you could just have the spoilage belt go up along with everything else. Yeah, let's do it. And then we can pull off the spoilage belt as well if we need things. So you won't need a splitter. You'll need a splitter, you'll need a splitter. Filter, deconstruction planner. Go get some more iron. Back you up. Slowly making progress on that stone patch. Alright, that is our 50 engines plugged in. Let's do 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 green circuits. And that will be our 50 electric engine units done. And then we'll spend the rest of our attention on transport belts. You can output into a box. You need a landfill, which you're not going to get to for a while because we're handcrafting a lot right now. I also probably want 1 extra steel. 8 steel. I'm not going to spend on that. I'll just make a wooden chest instead. You actually may run out of lubricant here. Each of these uses 15, and you want to make 50. You need like 750. I don't think you ever made 750. Well, if you can get close, that's good enough. You just need to get close. You're also going to want to bring the water belt up, because you're going to need water for the sulfuric acid. But you don't have the plates to spare for that right now, so that one's going to have to wait. This is coming together, man. This is coming together. These also need to duck underground so you can get this little apparatus in there. The junk removal apparatus. You're almost done with your circuits. Plunk those in there. So you're going to bring spoilage up here. How much sulfur are you going to want realistically? Show me another assembling machine 2 so that I can compare. You're going to make sulfur. Biosulfur, technically, I suppose. From sulfur and bioflux. Or from spoilage and bioflux. You make 3 per second. So it would make 5 of you to fill up a yellow belt, but that's 5 bioflux per second. We're only currently making 6 per second. So you actually consume quite a bit of bioflux, but we can just staple more of these on if we ever need them. You should actually look at how much bioflux you're consuming right now. 0.4 and 4 is going to be 1.6. 2.6, 3.6, 4.6. You're going to be pushing like 8 fairly soon. You might want to put down a second one of these. That's true. Then you should also fix this, because that's not tileable. Instead, you would want it to do this. And that would be tileable bioflux. And then you would just take this, and you would copy and paste this unit. And you would just plunk it. And that's extra bioflux. Okay. But do you really need 20... Do you really need 15 sulfur per second? I don't know. Sulfuric acid gets made at a chem plant. So you're going to need to make one of those as well. So that you can figure out your recipe for it. You still need... you have that landfill. You can come put it down now. There you go. Also, you've used up about a little less than half your space. That's okay. I think I'm going to put copper and iron production on the other side of the main belt. And I'll deal with space that way. Okay, so I need chemical plant to look at ratio for sulfuric acid. let's say that I want... Well, how many red chips can I support, actually? We're going to need to use plastic in low-density structures as well, but most of it is going to go into advanced circuits, which is going to take 0.25. We make 13.5. So let's say that we wanted to put 10 of that into red circuits. And we would be looking at having 40 assembling machines for red circuits, which would be 4.8 reds per second. With 4.8 reds per second, we would be looking at 32 blues. There's no way we're going to have enough green chips to support 32 blues. Let's say you're going to have like 12 blues to build rockets with. 12 times 0.37. We'd need 4.5 sulfuric acid per second. 4.5 sulfuric acid per second is going to consume an absolutely minuscule amount of sulfur. 5 does 50. So that's 0.1. We're looking at half a sulfur consumed per second to make all of the sulfuric acid that we need for blue chips. We're not going to need to build flying robot frames consistently, so we can ignore their battery requirement. We're only ever going to need one of these. You're only going to need a single sulfur-producing chem plant. And if you only need a single sulfur-producing chem plant, then you could actually just put it inline. Hey, put it inline. Right? Like here. Give me an underground. Bioflux goes under here, comes out here. You go under like this. Come back out. You make biosulfur from spoilage and bioflux. Oh, but you need nutrients, though. You could leach nutrients off of this guy. Alright, we're trending into spaghetti territory. But if it works, it works. And then you'll also need one here. This belt is going to come out. It is going to have sulfur on it. You should only ever grab sulfur. And then you're going to need a pair of long-handed inserters. One is going to grab spoilage, one is going to take out spoilage. Use filter spoilage. You don't need a filter because the only thing on that belt will be spoilage. And you should, I guess, be like nutrient only. No, there's an even better way to do this. You can see it. You can see the better way to do this. It's in your mind's eye. Is that where it is? We can make it even less complicated than this. And we can have it integrated. It's not going to be symmetric there. Hate that. You don't have accessible bioflux. Hate that. Hate that. I'll come back to that one. You finished 20 engines. You ran out of lubricant. Alright, so we're going to need more jelly nut for you. You're also going to need more iron. You're out of iron. Grab this giant patch. It's desperate enough. God, there's a part of me that just wants to make biosulfur in its own little dedicated chamber. For the sake of organization. But there's another part of me that knows that's insane. But I might do it anyway. Because what's the point of a base that's not orderly? You know? Order is the only thing that separates us from the beasts. Now, head down here, and we will get you connected up. Oh, you already made your 2 splitters, you don't need 2 more. Here and here. Out you go this way. Power pole here, 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 here. And then run one up from the south to get your ion. It's gonna be about there. You're going to be about there. You're going to turn at this corner. And get ready to spend all your landfill. But it's okay, because you've got a bunch. You're going to make some fruit. You're going to clear some trees out. And is this where you need to line it up? No, it needs to be over a little more. Quite a bit, actually. Okay. I'll check on your iron. Yeah, build dedicated sulfur. I hate it so much, but I just want everything to be very orderly. So dedicated sulfur is going to be dead easy. What else makes sulfur? Are you sure you don't need 2 of these things? Explosives. Are you ever going to need explosives here? No, I don't think so. You'll just ship them in. And then you're used for battery, you're used for carbon, you're used for processing unit. Is carbon used for anything? Carbon's used for carbon fiber. And you use 20 sulfuric acid in a chemical plant. What's that ratio like? That uses 20 sulfuric acid per second. You make 50 per second using 5 sulfur. I think we may actually want to do 2 biochambers making sulfur. Call me crazy. But they're still going to be the easiest biochambers in the world. I'll separate them by 1. Biosulfur, biosulfur. Nutrient belt. And the nice thing about this nutrient belt is that the spoilage we can also, well, yeah. No, yeah. Also, you never did spoilage removal on the lubricant factory. You need to do that now before you forget about it. Fine. You're right, but fine. So it's gonna go here. Because otherwise the power pole's in the way. You're gonna come across here, feed into a splitter. Splitter's gonna go here. You're gonna have one of those. You're gonna have one of these. You're gonna go like that. You're gonna go like that. That's you done. Then, nutrient belt. In. Nutrient only. Because there's a plan. I know that these could be mixed. There's a plan. Out. Spoilage only. Out. Sulfur only. In. Spoilage only. Spoilage in belt. Oh, you need bioflux in too. That's true, man. That's true. Alright, fine. Do this. It's still a little clever. So you can get away with it. How clever is it, actually? No, it's pretty clever. Spoilage in. I don't need to mark them as doing anything fancy. Nutrients in. Spoilage out. Sulfur out. Bioflux in. Filters, bioflux. Bioflux. Spoilage out. Spoilage, sulfur out. Sulfur. Bioflux belt comes in here. Underground here. Sulfur comes out. Goes underground here. Inserter here. No, that's going to put it onto the wrong side. Think more carefully about that. You do it like this. Spoilage. Nutrients. That's it. So what's clever about it? Well, what's clever about it is that we're going to take off nutrients at the bottom, and then we're going to run a priority splitter into the top. So that would look like U, which is the nutrient provider. It would look like U getting a bioflux splitter here. It would look like U and U going underground here, so that you can have an inserter here that takes off spoilage, and you only need to take off spoilage here. We won't be producing seeds as byproducts. An underground belt here that runs into a splitter here. Wait, are these lined up? Did I accidentally line these up? I did. Holy cow. So you would go like this. And then you would go underground again. Like this. And then you would run through a priority splitter here that outputs priority on right. And just route spoilage back into the sulfur. So any sulfur that's coming down the main line is going to flow into sulfur if the sulfur belt can hold spoilage. And if it can't hold spoilage, then it will move past it. But if there's any way for it to take spoilage, it'll take spoilage, and then it will turn it into nutrients. You are going to get signaled. Read all belts. Copy circuit condition. And you can take off spoilage anytime you want. I don't have to restrict you at all. For power lines, we'll do one here, and then here and here, and that should hit everybody. Nice and square. And then we'll line you up like this. You don't connect like this. You don't connect. You don't connect. You don't connect. But you connect. And then you are sulfur out into a box. It is ready to build. What more do you need? 26 undergrounds. But really it's only 12. And with sulfuric acid done, well, with sulfur done, we can do sulfuric acid, and with sulfuric acid, we can do batteries. We need a little more lubricant to finish our 50 electric engine units for our logistics bots. We're going to need a little more plastic to put together our initial roboports, because we are going to have to put down a lot of roboports to get ourselves coverage out to where our farms are going to be. But we're drawing close to this Gleba base actually doing something. And not only doing something, being automated. Which will be very good. Because I feel like this base has just sat around and done a lot of nothing for a very long time. But that's okay. That is all right. Because it's close to improving. You need 3 more underground. 7 more yellows. I can only guess that's going to be a shortage of iron. Yep. You need 4 red. What's up, Kyoshi? How you doing? Welcome, Kyoshi Raiders. You are watching me build a, look, it's gonna look like a Rube Goldberg machine, and you're not going to see it turn on tonight. So, prepare yourself ahead of time for being blue-balled. But we're... How the hell do you explain this thing? We're building something that's like kind of like a farm. Are you familiar with the idea of a farm? You put items in the ground and then later you receive more items. It's like that. We're putting items in the ground and then we're receiving more of them, but we're building all of the automation that is required to do it without us intervening. This needs a filter on it. Spoilage only. I forgot that seeds can wander down that belt as well. I think everything else should be fine. Hey, things move. It just doesn't make anything yet. So, where would I like to be before we stop the night? I would definitely like to make more plastic. So that is going to involve Yumako trees. Let's go get a couple of Yumako together. There is an enormous grove of them up here. So I will take some of you. It's going to involve a hell of a lot of lubricant. You guys knock yourself out, and then you're also going to need a ton of nutrients as well. Let's keep you guys running. Raid and run, I understand completely. Enjoy your dinner. I'll probably go for like another half hour or so. So I will keep your raiders entertained for a little bit longer here, as best I can, considering that I'm building something that doesn't do anything right now. And I'll catch you around next time in Guild Wars. But I appreciate the raid. I hope you have a good rest of your night. Oh, these things take bioflux too. You're not really making bioflux right now. Did you get enough plastic out of that? You're at 158. Let's say that, yeah, you did. Let's just say that you did a great job, even though it's probably meritless. You only have 8 bioflux left. That's not great. That's not great at all. But you don't take bioflux, so that's okay. You do take bioflux? That's annoying. Alright. Let's go get some more of our jelly nut. We will work on an improved amount of lubricant for ourselves. These should be jelly nuts right here. Beautiful. 150 weird little jelly nut boys. You can go here, and you can go here. And then have some nutrients to keep your machine running. We only need enough to get 50 engines out of this, so we do not need a ton. Split you in half for a couple more. You're slow to insert. I wonder if I can do anything to improve that. I think you would need stack inserters, which I don't really have the resources for right now. We'll just keep you guys running as is. Good? You spent? Is that all you've got? Yes. So how much more lube did that get us? We're at 308. We're using up 15 per operation. We can make 20 more engines. We currently have 25. I think it's going to get us really close. And then I need more bioflux. So that is going to be a couple more Yumako. Grab you. It's going to be a couple more jelly nut. And then it is going to be a hell of a lot of the spoilage that we just have laying in our inventory. So why are 36 things... Ah, never mind. That's on Fulgora. That is expected to be broken right now. I'll have to go and fix it another time. There we go. Alright, go put some bioflux together. You. Put some jelly together. Give everything some nutrients. Give it even more jelly nut, perhaps? Did you spoil already? You didn't spoil already. I will give you a little bit more jelly nut, then. Knock them out. Why are you taking Yumako Mash out of this machine? You're not turned the right way, my friend. You're turned the wrong way. But there's some more bioflux. You have plenty of Yumako Mash to work with. It's jelly nut you're short on. And then once you get some bioflux down here... Actually, I'm going to steal it off the belt right now. Because I don't trust you to do the right thing with it. Give you spoilage. Some nutrients. Make me sulfur. You are going to need a fast inserter. You do not keep up. There you go. Alright, 50 sulfur should be more than enough to make ourselves a batch of sulfuric acid. We are going to need another chem plant to make the batteries themselves. Run power up here. Rotate you, actually, because this is the part where I need to pull the water pipe up. Or, well, I guess you could just drag it down there. Maybe you don't need to pull the water pipe up yet. You can just pull the chem plant all the way down here. Power you like so. You are going to make sulfuric acid. That is going to take iron plate, sulfur, and water. Then that is going to get turned into battery, which is here somewhere. Battery's chem plant as well. I think they're chem plant as well. Yep, there they are. Alright. Iron and copper. Take you out. Put you in a box. And we're looking for about 50 batteries. While that works, we can start the arduous process of handcrafting 50 red circuits, which we are going to need a lot more iron for. Oh, you're out of rock to mine. I need to move you. You can go live there. The rest of you, I don't really need to fuel you right now. I don't need a ton of land, of stone in the future. You can just sit there and be sad if it's all the same to you. Here's my iron. Got another 10 sulfur. You are out of engine and circuit, which means you have your 50 electric engine units. That's great news. Let's go plug our iron in. $21. I think we're gonna get there. We're almost certainly going to get there. We still have a lot of sulfur left over. As soon as these expire, I will have a bunch more iron available. Good. Grab a little extra rocket fuel for your stone mines, I guess. There's no reason to not keep them moving the more I think about it. You do still have a pretty decent supply of rocket fuel. Top the boiler back up. And then each of you can have one of those as a little tasty treat. Battery at 34. Give me these EEs. And then we're just waiting on our iron production to come through. You're going to need a lot of steel for this too, actually. How much? 45. You're going to need so much iron. Well, you better get out there and keep harvesting it then. Yoshi Raiders, you don't know this, so I apologize, but I feel like we've said the next thing we work on has to be sustainable iron production. Maybe like 7 times so far tonight. And spoilers, it's not done yet. Every time we need iron, we just go dig around for it in this iron bacteria, and we wait for the iron bacteria to die. It's not the best approach. Definitely some more efficient ways that we could be doing that. But what can you do? $37. You need a little more iron. That'll put you at 47. Are you forgetting anything for flying robot frames? Like any gotchas? No. That's it. You're good. There's just a lot of handcrafting in your future. Well, you wait for all these to come together. Could work on the Yumako belt, I suppose. There you go. Another 10 landfill or so. Batteries at 47. Batteries at 50. You need just a tiny bit more sulfuric acid. That should do it, I think. Yep, that is exactly enough. 50 batteries. And now we wait. I guess you could have a machine work on some parts of this. Yeah, set up an AM2 for it, I guess. Set up a pair of AM2s for it. You're going to use them in other things later. We'll handcraft the greens. We'll have a machine dedicated to wire. And then we'll have a machine dedicated to advanced circuit. It'll just keep things moving a little more efficiently, I think. So you'll make reds. You'll make copper wire. You'll need a power pole. You'll need an inserter. There you go. You work on that. Here's all the plastic you should need, and then I'll take care of your greens for you. You're actually a little at risk of running out of rocket fuel. It's okay. The base is going to turn on soon, and then everything's going to be okay. Everyone will be happy. It'll produce things. We'll be very pleased with it. You're going to need another inserter to put into a box. You can just use the same box that the batteries were using. I'm fine with that. And how many of these are we going to want? Probably like 200 to make the roboports that we need. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of it. But even if I get one of these turned on, it's going to be a weight off my mind. And then how much further up do we want this to go? The only thing that we're going to put on top of this, I think, is pentapod eggs. Burnt spoilage is not going to need... Oh, it is made to biochamber. It is going to need nutrients. So we still need to make pentapod eggs and agricultural science. We need to make burnt science, or burnt spoilage. We need to make bacteria cultivation. We need to make bacteria cultivation. The bacteria cultivations are going to go on this side of the belt. I guess if I wanted to, I could put agricultural science on that side of the belt as well. Which would mean the only thing at the top of the belt would be burnt spoilage into carbon. But then you'd also need to save room for carbon fiber. Is there anything else you unlock on Gleba that you're going to need to save space for? I think it's just carbon fiber. And carbon fiber... No, because it's going to take carbon. I might do something special with carbon fiber. I'll think about it. The point is that this belt is going to come up here, and we're going to have two boxes that it gets peeled off into at this point. One is going to be for Yumako seed, and one is going to be for jelly nut seed. So you are filtered on jelly nut. You are filtered on Yumako. And you're just going to pull your associated seeds off the belt if you ever see them. As soon as we have a logistics network up and running, we're going to upgrade those chests to logistic chests. And they are the chests that are going to route ingredient requests back out to the farmers. And that is going to be the system that replaces the trees as we harvest them and sends them out here into the base to get turned into all of this random stuff that we need. Make sure our iron keeps moving. Make sure our steel keeps moving. Make another 100 green circuits. That is going to be you out of landfill, I believe. Yeah, and you're going to need a little more than 6. I think you're probably going to need like 10. There you go. You can have some green circuits, keep working on reds. You can have some iron ore. We also need to take this thing, and we need to move it up every level of assembler unit that we have here so that these machines can kickstart themselves back on if they run out of nutrients. But I don't want to have that running until we have fruit delivery automated, because if fruit is the thing that runs out, then eventually this is just going to destroy all of the spoilage on the belt and turn it into nothing. And that would be counterproductive for its purposes of kickstarting the system if it ever needs to turn back on. So we're going to let that sit for now. I need more plastic as well. Did I grab all the plastic? No, you still have 97. And each circuit takes 2. I don't think I'm going to be able to make a ton of roboports, but I can at least make 2 and maybe 3. So all I want to see is a roboport that gives me enough range to reach this tower. That's it. I don't think that's asking for too much. I also don't like this anymore. So how would you want to do it instead? I don't know. Yeah, I do know, actually. Just keep it simple. If you want to use both sides of the belt, just put a lane balancer in. You're going to have one inserter here, one inserter here. You're going to have a logistics chest that this thing pulls out of. And then you're going to yank this jelly nut out. I actually want to turn you off right now. Yeah, just disable that. I don't want you wasting seeds to plant jelly nuts that I don't currently have plans to harvest. You take one of those. You take one of these. You're almost out of copper. You have none copper in reserve. Let's go grab some of those copper stromatolites. You have a bunch of them right here. That should keep you occupied for a bit. There's an extra 48 green circuits for you. There is 51. That is your first roboport. Grab a little stone, because you're going to need landfill for this thing. And we want to just barely give it coverage. We also want a requester chest. So you... How high do these seeds stack? What are these seeds? I would have thought they were intermediate products. But maybe they're just not listed. Or I just don't see them. So request a chest here. You are going to request jelly nut seed. They stack to 10. So you're going to ask for 10 times 40. And then for this RoboPort, we're just going to put it right on the very edge of where it needs to be. Because we want to get this thing as close to the base as possible. And now we need another 45 reds. And all the while, our fuel is dipping lower and lower and lower. Which does not make me thrilled. You also want to make more wire soon, probably. And I don't think if I place your ghost... Oh, I can see how you connect. So we would have one there. Your logistics network runs to the very edge of that power pole, so we'd have one here that overlaps a little bit. Yours runs to this boundary of that power pole, so you'd go right next to the power plant, and then we would need one more. Probably 2 or 3 more to get inside seed coverage. It's a long ways. It's a long ways. You're probably going to need to you're going to need to handcraft another batch of plastic almost certainly. Which is going to mean getting a couple Yumako trees. And prepping a ton of nutrients. But you should at least not require any more sulfuric acid. Those guys are done. Okay. And you're out of bioflux. Do you have any more bioflux? You have a little bit more here at the end of the belt. You have 2. I'll take it. You need way more. Oh, you have a ton. What are you talking about? Let's grab all this bioflux that the rocket fuel isn't using. Here's an extra 22 for you. You have plenty of wire. Let's put you at 270. That feels like a healthy amount of plastic to me. But let's just use up all of this Yumako mash. We're actually very close to doing so. And not quite enough bioflux, but if I pick some of you and put you into the other machine, you can probably make do. You've got mash, no bioflux, mash, no bioflux, mash, no bioflux. All right, I'll let the rest expire. That has given us over 500 plastic. That should be plenty to craft all of the roboports that we should need. Need one more red chip. Thank you. We're going to need a little bit more steel. Thank you. And then we have enough iron gears. Make my next roboport. And then I think after this one, I am going to be done for the night. When we play next time, I want to find a way to craft these roboports faster. I'm not exactly sure where to scale up production right now. But as soon as this roboport network comes online, we will be able to automate this entire factory in one go. We'll twist a couple knobs to get things working the way that we actually want them to. And then we can start to think about building a rocket platform on Gleba so that we can start shipping things in, like big drills, EM plants, and anything else that we might decide that we need down here. And B, assembling agricultural science so that we can start shipping it back home and we can get back to Nauvis. So, if you want to be around for when that happens, I have a Discord. You should join and you should give yourself the stream pings roll so that you can see when the stream is going live in the future. If you want to catch up on Factorio or any other games that we've played in the past, I have a VODs channel that hosts all of the things that we've ever done on Twitch in a more easily viewable YouTube format. And if you want to check out some Guild Wars 2 stuff because you're here from Kyoshi's stream and you're only tolerating Factorio, you should check out my YouTube channel for edited, curated World vs. World guide content, podcasts, patch reviews, etc. Next stream will maybe be at some point this weekend. I don't immediately know when. Otherwise, we'll be back with World vs. World on Tuesday, World vs. World on Wednesday, and we'll be looking at playing a bit of Factorio after both of those streams. So if I don't see you before then, have a good weekend, and I'll catch you next time. Have a good one.